Hey, this is Richard Spate. You know what? It's 2024. It's a brand new year, and I bet you made some New Year's resolutions, and I bet one of them was to eat healthier. Well, you can get cranking on that resolution right now, my friend, with Factor. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, the prep work, the cooking fatigue. I'm getting tired just talking about it. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, and veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you will have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart this resolution off right. Forget frantic lunch prep and rush dinner making. That stinks. Factor's 2-minute meals, yes, I said 2 minutes, are your secret weapon in the new year. You get to fuel up fast with restaurant quality meals all delivered right to your door. It doesn't get any easier than that. And Factor now offers loads of snack options like breakfast, smoothies, juices, snacks, and more to keep you going no matter what's on the schedule. So I know what you're asking. Rich, how do I tap into this Factor magic? You head to factormeals.com/SPNTAN50 and use code SPNTAN50 to get 50% off. That's a lot off. That's code SPNTAN50 at factormeals.com/SPNTAN50 for 50% off. Make that resolution happen now and make it happen at a discount. Fantastic food that's healthy and delicious and delivered right to my door. Now that is how you start the new year off right.
Hey, everybody, it's Rob Benedict.
Oh, and I'm Richard Spate Jr.
And we've got a special bonus episode for you where we have gotten a hold of the thespian who plays Tiny in Folsom Prison Blues. Please welcome to our show, Clif Kosterman. Yep. Cliff, hey, buddy.
Clapping for myself.
First of all, Cliff, I got to tell you, you're the first ever person we've had do a standalone interview episode. We're dropping this as its own little treat, little delectable delight.
Not even Jared or Jensen have gotten that treatment.
No,
Really?
not those lamos.
Wow, I feel really special now.
That'd be a waste of time. We're talking about we want the real guys on here, like the Kostermans.
Yeah, not the liars. No, we don't want those guys.
No.
Yeah.
So, dude, let's dive into this because it was so fun to go back and watch the episode and see you on screen. For the backstory, for people who don't know, we've all been friends with Cliff for 15 years. Like we've all traveled the world together, hang out together, and we're all part of the same social loop. But knew you kind of after your acting debut on the show. You know, I think I'd probably met you because I had shot my episode previously, but we didn't hang out then. That was before we were like chummy.
That was before we were best friends. Yeah.
Besties, exactly.
I met you because when you were the guy to ask if it was okay if I knocked on Jared's trailer door.
And the answer is still no.
It's still no. It's actually even now not never. It's just no.
Yeah. So how did you, first of all, before you even get into the show itself, how did you get involved in Supernatural? Let's start there.
My very first gig on Supernatural, I got a call from production, and they said, our lead actor's family is coming into town. We need someone to take care of them while they're here and drive them around and, make sure that everything's fine. So my actual first gig was with Jared's mom, dad, sister, and brother. They showed up, and I took care of them for the couple of days that they were there and drove them around and stuff. And so then I was just sort of day call driving, which I don't know if everybody knows what that is, but it's you work a couple of days, you don't work a day, they come back and forth when they need you, sort of thing. And then in season 2, I did my episode where I got to know the guys a little bit better. And then they had a couple altercations in the first 2 seasons, and somebody walked into Jared's trailer once and into Jensen's trailer once, and so they decided that they needed somebody to come and hang out with them for a bit. And so it all started. Season 3 was where it actually took roots.
So when you did Folsom Prison Blues, you weren't working on the show at that time?
No, I was day calling on the show. I was only in every once in a while. I'd be in there.
Oh, yeah. I thought for some reason you were what you were when I met you, which was, we're working with the boys there.
No,
I see.
I auditioned for the part and everything, and
Did you really?
I did it the real way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow,
dude,
I thought you
had
were offer
no
only.
idea. I thought you were. I thought it was an inside job. Okay, so
Yeah.
No, I'm a real actor.
I've read about people like you. Never met one.
No.
Tell me about that. So you're day calling. So you got a side gig as an actor or a parallel gig as an actor, and you're doing some driving work on Supernatural. Your agent calls you out of the blue. Hey, you got to audition for this show. You're like, oh crap, I know these dudes. So you just go into Heike's office and do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I ended up doing it. I think it was Mike Rowe, I believe, was the director.
Correct.
Right? On the episode. Yeah. So I remember I went to the usual spot for the audition. Yeah, they just called and said, "Hey, you got an audition out of the North Shore." I think it was North Shore. We were doing it out there at the time.
Right.
Yeah, I just went in, read the bit, and that was it. You know.
Wow.
Onward we went and did that, and then when the job came up, it was myself and a couple other guys got asked if we want to do the gig because there's a couple guys that have the same sort of qualifications I have. And so we all three of us were in the office, and Jared and Jensen were actually in the office as I was walking through there. And we stopped and bullshit for a second. I told them what I was there for, and they said, "Oh, it's your gig, man. You're good." So,
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So
basically, they put the stamp on it before I had to really.
Yeah, which probably didn't hurt, but
No.
That's so funny now, considering your role and how much of the family you became. Looking back, that it's kind of started with.
It's just stuff I was thinking about. I was talking with Jen on the weekend when we were up in Rhode Island on the weekend, and remembering when Shep was born. And I remember it was surreal because he was being born in a house upstairs in Seattle, and I was just sitting downstairs watching TV, and it just seemed like, okay, Jen's upstairs having a baby. I'm just down here watching TV. I just like
I should wipe down the counters or something. I mean, I should be productive.
I was yelling up the stairs, "Hey, is there any peanut butter anywhere? I'm hungry down here."
You heard the woman. Breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
Jen's like, "Do I smell microwave popcorn?"
Yeah.
I'm having a stroke. I smell toast. No. Cliff is making toast.
That's Cliff. He's making toast.
You guys, yelling out, "Do you guys want any?"
So I got to rewind a little bit because I'm still putting the pieces together. This is all new news. I know Rob and I had it totally wrong in our heads about how you came in here.
Good.
So
I find that absolutely shocking.
This is that we're wrong. Please.
Yes.
No. So when you show up on your first day of work, now you've been cast. You show up your first day of work. Is the crew and those who knew you in the transpo department and Jared and Jensen were like, "Whoa, dude!" Like, was it a moment of like, you're here to be the guy?
When I came in to do my episode,
Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I showed up and they said, of course, they're all set for me because I was on the call sheet. So I didn't go to the honey wagon. I didn't go to this. Next thing you know, I've got the big 2-banger. I've got the big room.
Nice.
I've got it all, right?
For our listeners, a honey wagon would be the smallest dressing room you could get. A 2-banger would be a pretty big
honey
one.
wagon is like 5 in one trailer, and then they take that same trailer and just make it 2 really fancy ones,
Two
and that's the
sides.
double banger.
Yeah. And if I get a honey wagon room, they don't even leave a chair in there because there's no room for me to sit down.
No,
so.
dude.
True.
No need for that.
Yeah.
You literally are like a shirt in a closet. You just stand there.
Exactly. I'm just standing there. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, for what it's worth, that watching you in this episode, especially thinking that this was like you were already sort of Jared's, and the boys' bodyguard, and they just kind of sort of handed this to you. I thought it was maybe going to be a cameo, right? Sort of an Easter egg. Yeah. And it wound up being this part that's, I have to say, I was emotionally involved with Tiny.
Yeah.
Like, you did a great
It's a real
job.
role.
It's a real role.
It's a real role. Yeah.
That scene you have where you're in silhouette, there's some real stuff going on, and you admit that you actually do have emotions and are insecure. Yeah. Right. I really felt for you. Yeah. I really felt for Tiny.
Yeah, and of course it was a lot of fun, and a lot of people thought the same thing you guys did, that I just got it because I was already on the show. And then when people find out, you go, "No, I wasn't on the show yet," and they're like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I used to be an act. I used to act."
That's a real trip, man. That is a real. I mean, we're breaking a story right now, Rob, in real time. This is,
that maybe everyone else knew, but for us, it's breaking news.
No, not everybody knew because I even got asked on the weekend if I'd already been on the thing. I said, no, I didn't. I got that on my own. So,
oh, funny.
That's a trip. I'm going back. So the drivers must have thought it was like a real crack up. Your other transpo buddies, because now they had to set up your trailer for you.
That's right.
You're lucky you didn't find a big brown present in the toilet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. and of course I played it. The couch wasn't cushy enough.
Sure, you did.
The drinks weren't cold enough, and
not enough bubbly in the fridge.
Yeah, I would never wear a puffy coat, but is there one here just in case I get cold? All that kind of
nightmare.
Stuff. The stuff that you guys are always asking for, the green M&Ms and all that.
Exactly. Yeah. You know how we roll.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Well, what was your acting experience previous to this? Had you been doing sort of the shows that come through Vancouver?
I had done my first gig was actually I was in 21 Jump Street. Like the first season of 21 Jump Street.
Wow.
Going way back.
For the kids listening, that used to be a TV show before it was a movie.
And it broke Johnny Depp into a big star.
That's right.
It was Johnny Depp's big jump off there. And ironically, I played a doorman. I know.
Typecast.
Pigeonholed there, but So, and I did Wise Guy, Street Justice, MacGyver. I did all those things back in the day. And then in this epic movie called Time Runner with Mark Hamill. And I was one of the big major players in that. But
that's cool to work with Mark Hamill. That's dope.
Very
cool.
It really was. It was fun. It was fun because you'd be sitting. He would hold court every night. He would just sit and tell stories and to whomever happened to be around. A lot of times it was just fans who were out watching a shoot up in Kelowna in BC there, and he would just hold court and just tell stories. It was freaking awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
He was actually a cool dude. We hung out a lot, so it's kind of.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Rich and I were lucky enough to meet him real quick.
I didn't get any of the stories. I want the stories.
Yeah, I didn't get any stories. No, we got a quick picture. That was it. Yeah. So, Cliff, what do you remember from the actual shoot? I mean, do you have memories of like choreographing the fights or, the silhouette scene with Jensen?
Yeah, there was some fun stuff. It's funny. One of the biggest things I remember is his Mike Rowe pacing. What? That's all he did, right?
Funny.
He paced all the time. That guy never stopped moving. I was getting tired just watching him. But
that's funny.
Here's one I think you're gonna like, and I think the people will really like. If someone's to go back and watch Folsom Prison Blues and take a look at Jensen's orange jumpsuit. Okay. There's never been a more tailored, well-fit orange jumpsuit in the prison system ever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. I actually did notice something. Man, he looks good in that orange jumpsuit. Nobody looks good in those things.
I know, and it was just funny because I remember them doing it. They're making the sleeves better, and they're making this better, making that better. I go, wow, this is a pretty high class prison.
Inverted funnel,
tight waist.
Slim waist. Honestly, they dressed him like if he was playing a prisoner as a stripper.
Yeah.
An inmate escaped.
It's somebody's birthday.
Somebody's breaking out.
And then they give me mine, which is like a 5X freaking thing. I look like James the Giant Peach. Half the time I couldn't even close it up, so I just wrapped it around my waist, But
what was funny to me is how the same and different you look at the same time. Because you look exactly like Cliff, but you got the dark beard. I honestly feel like you're in better shape now. I mean, to be honest.
Yeah, you seemed heavier then. Were you heavier?
I'll tell you right now, I was 350 pounds during that episode.
Jesus.
Wow. I'm about 260 right now.
Wow.
But here, this will be the I don't know what you want to call it. This will be the sort of saddish part in the story, because what I had done was I was getting ready to go through chemotherapy and stem cell transplant for cancer. And so what I did is I said, I don't want to come out of there skinny. So I went balls to the walls and bulked myself up 135, 40 pounds,
Wow.
So I went into chemo and then lost it all again. So,
so you had the chemo after that episode?
I did. Yeah. And I just finished it when we came back it would have been season. So that's 2 and that was 19. Yeah. So I came back still with the effects of the chemo and stuff at season 3.
Oh, wow, man.
You can see some pictures. There's some pictures of us hanging out in season 3, and you can sort of see I don't look too healthy, I'm sort of leaning against things and sort of that kind of stuff. So there was that sort of thing. But it dissipated and went away as it happens. But yeah. And
things are, I mean, that's a podcast unto itself, but like you're all better now?
I don't want to bum anybody out. I still have what I had, but the thing is, it comes, it goes. It doesn't affect me really anyway. It affects my diet a little bit, but not hugely. And it's one of those things that's slowly progressing that my doctor says you'll die of old age before this ever gets to you. So
that's good.
You'll die with it, not from it, is sort of the idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you look great. You look great and healthy. And that's,
this is probably, I'm down to feeling much better these days. And I think I turned the big 6-0 this year. So
hey, congratulations, Cliffy.
Yeah. And I kept getting notifications from my high school saying, "Oh, we lost another classmate." And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be in that list.
No.
I want to push past the 62 year, 62
Yeah.
year
Well, it's funny you bring that up because sometimes people will go, "Oh, I'm 53, Rob's 52. And as you get older, people are like, "Oh, is it weird getting older?" I'm like, no, it'd be a shitload weirder not getting older. Like, I'm all for getting older. Like, bring on the older.
Right.
Like, I don't want, as soon as this thing stops, no, I'm not looking for that.
I remember somebody told me, so when I turned 40, they said, you won't live longer than you already have. And I went, wow, that's freaking depressing. Holy shit.
That's not necessarily true, though. You could live to 80.
No, it's not. It's not. But, I think the average age, though, now is like 74, 75 for men are to pass away or something like that.
Well,
it's going up, right?
It's going up. People are living longer. But I will say it's just like it's for anybody out there who is struggling with the don't like getting older thing. I think everybody needs a little perspective check on that. You know what I mean? Like I think so. Yeah. Enjoy the journey, man, because it's what you get, and certainly it's cool to hear your story, Cliff, and also to sort of see how you sort of powered through that experience while also doing your best to progress in the life you had chosen for yourself without illness. You know what I mean? Like your career and everything else.
Yeah. I didn't let it affect anything. And as you guys know, this in my world, this is the bomb. This is, it doesn't get much better than what we do here. So,
right.
Yeah.
You have an interesting relationship. I'd like to touch on your relationship with the fandom because, as a guy who started in season 3 on Supernatural, basically to protect the lead, handsome lead young men of the show from overzealous personalities, that's still part of your job, but you've become such a liaison between the fandom and the performers and become, I would say, a fan ally, if you will.
Right.
And I'm interested to know how that's developed for you, because at first you're a bodyguard, you're a strongman, you're there to keep everybody at bay. And then we've been doing conventions so many years, the guys travel all over the world. You've dealt with so many different convention coordinators and fans and people who are probably balanced and people who are also struggling. And how have you found that role for yourself?
I enjoy it a lot because, as you know, a lot of times for me, it's, sitting in the truck here and watching movies all day, waiting for people to finish. But when we do conventions, for me, I enjoy them a lot. I love being around the people. That's fun. But I'm also doing, today, I'm organizing flights and hotels and all this other stuff. So you become not just that, just not the babysitter. You become the executive assistant / whatever needs to be done. I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
So that's progressed into that.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it because it keeps me busy and keeps me doing stuff all the time. Like this last weekend, the event we had up in Rhode Island was a totally different animal for us, not used to where we normally ones we do. So I was in my element, and it was kind of fun when people came over to me, Mitch Pileggi comes over and says, this is your wheelhouse, isn't it? I say, yeah, this is what I do. But at the same time, I'm still doing my real job, the job that I was originally hired for. And now it's become, you're still talking about, being a bigger part of the fandom. The fandom has come to help me quite a bit now, which is great. Right. So if they see situations and they see something's going on or something's happening somewhere, they let me know. I don't even have to go out and sort of look for things. People will bring stuff to me and say, this is what's happening. I think somebody should keep an eye on this or whatever you need to do. So they've actually, like you said, they've become my allies in the whole thing, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great. But you're still going to have the few that want to push those boundaries.
Sure.
And that sort of, but even in that sense, if someone pushes the boundaries and one of our allies is hanging out, most of the time I don't have to step in. One of them will come in and
a lot of self-policing.
Right.
Yeah, they'll diffuse things before anything happens. Not that a bunch of stuff happens, but we've got our regular people that help us out.
Yeah. So, it's great. You're such a part of the family, and it's, to Rich's point, it's more than just your job, really. And as it is for all of us that have been involved, that are still involved with it. Yeah. So with just taking it back, when you finish Folsom Prison Blues, then do you just go back to being sort of part-time actor, part-time
before
driver?
you got the job.
Yeah, before I got the job. Yeah, I went back to just being my what I would do on anything else, and then
they called you in the off season and said, "Hey, do you want to come?"
They called me in the off season and said, "Hey, they want to get somebody." And so we came down. But just as season 3 started, I think it was the day before season 3 had started, and we came into the office and got the gig. And then here's a funny story. The first day was the first week of July, because I think that's when we usually went back, right? It was so. And I remember we were shooting out in Ladner, which for most people would know, it's just a little town south of Vancouver on the river. I remember shooting all day, finished up the day, and then so we're waiting at the trailer, waiting at the trailer, waiting at the trailer, waiting at the trailer. 6 hours. Those were in their trailer after we wrapped.
Oh my God!
They were in there having a Scotch tasting contest.
Oh wow! Everybody wins.
I can't imagine.
Everybody wins. Shocking as that may be. So anyways, so we finished that day, and I got to tell you, I was a bit livid. I wasn't up for sitting around for 6 hours after we'd already done a 14-hour day, right?
Right.
So that the next day I didn't go back. I said, I'm not here to work. I'm not going to do this gig. I'm not going to be the guy that hangs out every night after work. I'm not here to do that. I've got a job that I need to do. If you want me to hire me for this job, that's fine. But this isn't part of the job. So I didn't go back. And then production called and said, hey, please, can you come back? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I'm not going to do that stuff. And they said, no. It's just, it was Jared's birthday and they're celebrating it. They hadn't been together since his birthday. So blah. And then 15 years later, I said, you guys all lied.
Yeah, you're still waiting on that.
It was Jared's birthday 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Also, tomorrow is Jared's birthday. And be ready.
Jared's birthday for about 8 years.
Yeah, be careful because next week,
exactly.
Thursday is Jared's birthday. So.
Well, we're all glad you stuck around, and I know those boys are too.
I know this is one of those rare occasions, but you kind of have to stop and go, hey, to whoever tried to break into the boys' trailers back in season 2, thank you, because it really led to a great work experience.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
To that I say, you're welcome.
Well played, Rob.
Rob, you're supposed to keep that on the down low, buddy.
Well played. Cliff, listen, man, like it's trippy having, it's always interesting interviewing our buddies because we're interviewing, it's not even somebody we have heard of or kind of know, somebody we really know. We're all part of the inside baseball. But I got to tell you, this is really interesting because I didn't know any of your origin story. So this is really fun.
Yeah, it's a good origin story.
Yeah.
There you go.
For as well as I know you and as many, stakes as we've had, and airplanes we've been on, I did not know how you arrived at this position, and that's awesome.
And beaches in Brazil.
And beaches in Brazil. As many times as I've asked you to please stop asking my wife to dive into the water. The other thing I'll say is...
Rob, I got to tell you, that was one of the most shocking things I've ever seen in my life. Standing there going, Jared and I going, really? This is your wife? I don't get it. What happened?
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah, it actually happens a lot.
It's a lot of people who go like, wow, Rich, you really, really outpunted your coverage. And then a whole other group of people going to JC going, what happened to you? Like, why did you aim low? You could have done so much better.
I think Rich was getting pissed off when we'd say you should go up the top of the boat and jump off.
Yeah, I was not pissed off. It made for a wonderful nonstop 3 days of revelry. I know we're wrapping up, but I want to say, Cliff, I think you do, aside from your work with Jared and Jensen, which is obviously you're very good with them and their families and have been a close ally and confidant for years, but you do such a good job with the fandom. And I know as Rob and I hosting these conventions, we're kind of the pointy end of the bayonet for a lot of experiences, but you've always done you always have your ear to the ground. You always know what's going on. I can always ask you, like, are we good here or not good here? Like, you're very politically astute at your job. You're very good with people and personalities.
I try to be. I enjoy it. You guys all our whole group makes it easier. We don't have any assholes in our group. Well, we got one, but he doesn't hang around as much. Again,
Rob says thank you.
Rob says thank you.
And to that I say you're welcome.
But it's turned into that. People say you don't have a lot of close friends in your life, they say, but I mean, we've probably got a good dozen or so,
Oh yeah. And I mean, dude, and Rob, you know this as well as I do. There's been more than one time where 15 of us will go to Clif and be like, hey, we need help with X, Y, or Z. It's not just like Jared and Jensen. I mean, like, they come.
It's never Jared and
they
Jensen.
come. Jared and Jensen come with a real deep bench of people who aren't afraid to go to you and go like, hey, Clif, help a brother out. What do we do? So it's awesome, man. It's cool.
One of my favorite things is when we were all in Rome and we're out for the usual place that we go to dinner to, right? And I remember we were getting ready to go somewhere, and everybody's going, "Well, what should we do? What should we do? What should we do?" And Eugenie just steps in and goes, "We're all listening to Clif."
Okay,
good.
She got it.
Done.
Dude, that sums it up. We're all listening to Clif. Well, we've all been listening to Clif, and it's been a real delight, man. Thank you for coming and being a part of it.
Thank you so much.
You got it. Thanks, fellas.
Clif's iPad.
I can't wait to interview Clif's iPad.
Hey!
Is it working now? I can't
There
tell.
it is.
Yeah!
I really hope that's your finger. Hey, Clif.
Hey, what's the rules first? Nudity and
Full nudity is accepted. In fact,
Encouraged.
I can speak for Rob when I say that Rob's not wearing pants.
Story Mill Media.